Hey there, it's Kate, author of The Good Girl Prescription. I wanted to jump on and just read to you a little section today. I am working on preparing a workshop on breaking free, and I'm using a lot of the content from chapter 9 of the book on unleashing her roar, which is all about learning how to get back in touch with the energy of the fight response to create change in our lives, which so many of us as women often repress and suppress, which creates an internal stress and frustration and resentment and health problems and all kinds of things, not to mention just being stuck in our lives. And so I'm really excited about the workshop material. So I'm not going to give away the part of the chapter that I'm going to be using for that. But if that's something that sounds fun for you, this is Tuesday night. At Blue Apple Books in Madison at 6:30 to 8:30, and we're just going to have a lot of fun. We're going to read some sections from this chapter and learn how to access that energy into creating change in our lives and getting in touch with our roar and our fight response in a way that doesn't mean we turn around and lash out and scream at people, but in a way that allows us to use our voice and to harness that healthy assertiveness, healthy aggression. So we're not shrinking back and we're not pulling away when we get backlash, or we're having to fluctuate between not saying anything to screaming, right? And so we're going to talk all about what it looks like to stand in confidence and use our voices in the world, and why that matters for our health and our relationships and the impact that we have in the world and the fulfillment in our jobs. But here's the section that I wanted to read to you. This is called Getting in Touch with Our Power. It says, I sat on the bleachers with the other moms and watched in horror as my little girl wrestled the basketball away from a girl on the opposing team, knocking her down in a fight for possession. I should have been cheering, but instead I shrank down in embarrassment, thinking, where did my sweet girl go and what have you taught her? She'd always been a little too polite on the court for my husband's liking. Apparently, he'd spent the last practice teaching the girls how to get aggressive and steal the ball. That day, my daughter saw her opportunity, reached in, grabbed the ball, and won a chance to dribble it down the court and shoot. She walked off the court, her disheveled ponytail a badge of honor, reflecting her newfound grit and determination. Assertiveness is not incompatible with kindness. It's the embodiment of our God-given power. Love doesn't stand around hoping for a chance to take a shot. It's the force that creates things. When we ground ourselves in that power, we have the capacity to shift the energy in a room. That's the same force we need to harness, not just to win basketball games, but to reclaim our health, transform our relationships, and move forward towards our goals and dreams. So I just wanted to read that section because that's why this work matters, this learning how to the results of when we're not doing that, when we're not learning to stand up and use that power that we hold, the results are anxiety, depression, chronic illness, stress-related diseases, migraines, chronic pain. All kinds of things are a consequence of having that energy contained in us, repressed in us, instead of being able to see a stressor and overcome it and come out of the off the court with a disheveled ponytail, feeling that confidence of, I've got this, I can do this. Like, that's how we feel safe in our spaces. And it doesn't mean we have to fight people and scream in their faces or, get into conflict intentionally, from a place of defensiveness or start egos fighting with each other, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being grounded in love and accessing that power to create positive transformation in our lives, to be able to move through our world, our homes, our job places, our, with that confidence, to be able to use our voices. And so many of my clients, and this happens to me, it still happens to me, it's still something I have to work on. Whenever we're in a context where that doesn't feel safe, we often feel that energy, that resentment, that brewing frustration, right? Or, and it's it's like that the body has this primal response to defend ourselves, to take action, to mobilize that energy out of us into movement, into action. But if we keep it in, it stays there, and it can look like anxiety instead, or it can cause us to go into a freeze response and shut down, or it can create just a lot of internal pressure, and we're gonna have a migraine. There's a lot of things. If we can't set a boundary, our body's gonna learn how to set a boundary for us. And so I wanted to just share that with you, why this book matters to me, why helping women find their voices again and be able to harness that energy and release and mobilize it out of their body, so they're not, it's not having an impact on their health. That's pretty important to me. And not only is it important for their health, but it's important for them to be able to move forward and transform their relationships and do work that's, or just create a life that's deeply fulfilling for them. If we can't harness this energy in that way, we're gonna stay stuck, we're gonna stay sick, and we're gonna stay stressed. And it's too costly. And so just, yeah, if you're listening to this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But if you live in the local area, if you're in Huntsville or Madison, block your calendars for Tuesday night and come join me, and we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to get in touch with that energy. We're going to create a lot of conversations around this, and just learn how to feel and load up that sense of confidence in our bodies. We're going to talk about what gets in the way of that, and the human nature to pull back and to shrink back and to hesitate or to hold it in, and the impact of needing to heal our attachment wounds in order to do that. So many things. So yeah, if you're looking for a night of great conversation and activities that really help you to step into the world with more confidence, come and join us. You need to purchase a ticket first, and so I'll drop the link below the video and you can grab your ticket. There's only, I think, maybe 10 spaces left, so make sure you grab yours today and bring a friend.